Sometimes life doesn't stop you because you're late. Sometimes it stops you because you're about to run past something important. That night, the storm didn't just delay flights. It reopened a story that was never finished. The rain fell hard against the glass walls of the airport. Thunder rolled across the sky, shaking the building like a warning. Announcements echoed again and again. All flights are delayed due to weather conditions. Passengers complained, some prayed, some slept, and in the middle of the waiting hall, two people who once loved each other sat only a few steps apart without knowing it yet. Amina adjusted her scarf, tired from travel and life itself. She had learned to move forward without looking back. Then she saw him, Kwame. At first, she thought it was memory playing tricks on her. But memory doesn't breathe. Memory doesn't blink. He turned Dand. Their eyes met. 10 years collapsed into a moment of pure silence. There were no hugs, no dramatic reactions. Just two hearts, suddenly awake and beating a little too fast. Kwame's voice was soft, almost a whisper against the hum of the airport. "Amina, is it really you?" She could only manage one word in reply, a name that held a decade of history. Kwame. They found a small airport cafe, the warm steam from their untouched tea rising between them like a fragile bridge. They spoke gently, carefully, as if they were holding something precious that might break. They laughed about the small things, how he still drank his tea without sugar, how she still hated early morning flights with a passion. And just like that, the romance returned, quiet and unannounced. It was there in the way he listened, truly listened, to every word she said. It was there in the way she smiled without meaning to, a smile that reached her eyes for the first time in what felt like forever. The love hadn't disappeared. It had simply been waiting. But beneath the calm voices, a storm of thoughts raged inside each of them. Kwame remembered the weight of family duty, the moment he chose responsibility over the love of his life, telling himself that sacrifice was a sign of strength. Amina remembered the pain of leaving the hard-won independence she had built, telling herself that survival meant never looking back. Her voice was low, filled with a vulnerability she hadn't shown in years. "I thought forgetting you would make life easier." Kwame looked down at his hands, the silence stretching between them. "And I thought staying would make me a better man." It wasn't an empty silence. It was heavy, filled with regret, with the pressures of culture, with unspoken fears, and all the questions they never got to ask. As the night wore on, the storm outside began to weaken. The airport lights steadied, and a clear announcement finally broke through the noise. "Final boarding calls will begin shortly." Time, which had been suspended, suddenly rushed back in, and with it came a choice. Kwame looked at her, his expression serious. "I don't want to keep pretending what we had didn't matter." Amina glanced down at her boarding pass. A different gate, a different destination, a different future. Her heart pleaded with her to stay, to see where this could lead. But her mind remembered the cost, the heartbreak it took to rebuild her life. Some love comes to stay, she said softly, and some love comes to teach us who we are. Kwame reached for her hand, and she held it just for a moment. A moment of connection, of acceptance. Then she gently let go. They walked together in silence until the hallway split into two different directions. There were no promises, no anger, no last-minute pleas. There was just truth. As Amina disappeared down the corridor toward her gate, Kwame stood still. He wasn't broken, but he was changed. The planes finally took off, carrying people to their destinations. The storm outside had ended, but for Amina and Kwame, something deep inside them had finally found its peace. Not every love story is meant to continue. Some are meant to return just for a moment, so we can understand ourselves better. Sometimes the delay is the destination, and sometimes the airport is not a place of travel, but a place of truth. Thank you for watching.